Good morning. Calendar week 35, the busiest week at the barracks ever. Honestly, this week coming up is intimidating me slightly. There's not much that stops me being productive as having way too much to do. I need a plan, a big plan with lots of jobs in it. Let's have a look at things. Cooking oil. In the pumpkin patch, which hasn't had pumpkins in it for a while, I want to sow winter rapeseed. I have some very high quality seed which I got cheap from the farmer. The bad thing is it's about 2 years old. Do you think that's why I got it cheap? The good thing about it is that it's really top quality agricultural organic rapeseed, and I'm expecting great things from it. This must be sown this week to give it a good start into the winter. It's a delicate and complicated sort of a plant. Before the winter, its job is to grow a taproot of at least 15 millimetres, just under 5/8 of an inch in diameter, and to set 8 leaves in a ground-hugging rosette. These are the signs that it has done enough work before the frosts come. If it does less than this, it probably won't survive the freezing ground. If it does much more, it definitely won't. When the new season comes, then, it leaps up really quickly into the tall, gangly, mustard yellow-headed plant that we know from spring vistas. Then it spends the summer putting all of its energy into the seedpods, which I can harvest when completely dry, and make cooking oil out of them. It's a good plan, and I like it. Unfortunately, I do have to hand dig the pumpkin patch, or at least half of it, by the end of the week. Now that would be impossible to do all in one go, but if I can get out there every morning after feeding the piggers and do 2 hours, it should be achievable. All right, we're starting to create a plan for the week. Let's see where this takes us. The state of firewood. In a word, bad. Insufficient by quite a large margin. Enough for maybe a mild October and half of November. This would be bad if there wasn't a solution in sight, but there is, and it has 2 phases. The second phase is to take a delivery of a lorry load of wood from the forester. Once again, my Austrian artist patron and source of inspiration and assistance has agreed to sponsor the programme. It's mostly building wood, but there will be enough gnarly stuff amongst it to see me through the winter. The forestry people have been going through some personnel changes this year, and it's caused something of a lag. The wood will be cut and delivered in October. This should not really be long enough for it to dry out much, but if I cut it and chop it as soon as it comes and start taking it inside and sitting it by the roaring fire, then the first round should be oven ready by the end of a mild October and half of November. If October is the opposite of mild, well, we shall bridge that cross when we get to it. The first part of the solution, though, that's a this week problem. A large tree right by the barracks perimeter fence has come down, and because it's just one tree and far away from any forest roads as you can get, it is mine for the taking. It doesn't make financial sense for the commercial wooders to come and get it. So I have to get that inside. It is so big, though, that no matter how thinly I slice it, I will not be able to pick up the logs. I will have to saw it and chop it in the forest, and as soon as possible, and then somehow bring it all the way up to the loft, a distance of a good 400 metres through mostly wooded territory. If I manage to get an hour of this in before lunch and an hour after, I should get a significant chunk of it in, but really I can't hope to clear it. This is a quandary, but our days are filling up with a plan. And I just remembered I have to clear out the fab first. It's pretty much full of sawdust. Most of the forest chopped wood will be going in here. The bought-in stuff is going to be spliced and put under the woodshed. The woodshed is full of planks of wood dried from 2 years ago, and ready to go and become the thing that it was always meant to be, the sauna in the basement. I'm considering taking it all down to the basement and making the sauna in situ, thereby clearing the woodshed. But it's definitely not a job for this week. The book. I have to get the map scanned. I've mentioned the map, right? From the very first submission to the publishers, the table of contents way back in November last year, there was the plan for a big-ass hand-drawn map of the barracks. I've probably mentioned it. Well, I'm itching to start on volume 2 of the book, and the map is the last big piece of volume 1 that I haven't completed, so I should do that first. and I want to get it scanned and see what it looks like anyway. Currently, it looks pretty good, but I might have overdone it a little with the twiddly bits. What's that? I haven't mentioned Volume 2? Well, it's not actually a thing, not even really close to a thing. But I had to cut a lot from the book to fit the word count. Actual words and chapters that I'd made a cracking good start on, and just plain headings from the table of contents that had to be sacrificed to the gods of the page count. So there is a Volume 2 pretty much ready to go. Here is the plan. The book does well enough for DK to want another book from me. Now the ultimate fantasy situation is that it does so well at the Frankfurt Buchmesse that they want one from me immediately. The second best, that it does well in pre-sales, and they want one from me eventually. The third is that it does fine at release, and they can be persuaded to publish a second one sometime after that. My plan is that Volume 2 cuts out a huge percentage of the work that DK have to do, layout and fontography and format and design, and they can take my new content and fairly quickly get the artworks done and have a second one on the shelves within, say, 6 months. None of this is likely or probable, but it isn't impossible either. If good things do happen and the book finds an audience and the zeitgeist is right, and a million random other coin flips all come up heads, then the worst thing for me that stopped it happening would be because everyone was waiting for me. So I want to take that out of the equation. The hope for this week is that I get a good 3 or 4 hours every day typing away, writing quality stuff, better than this nonsense I subject you to every week at least. And by the time the first book goes to the publishers, I'm at least halfway into the second. The days are filling some more. And finally, there are 2 other things that I wanted to write a pretty paragraph about, and they're more closely related than might be obvious, but I'd better start wrapping this up. Last week, I completely redid all the connections around the water pump. It has not dropped a single drop since. This is great for my sanity and for our water levels. Then, at about midnight the other night, I couldn't sleep, so I got up and fixed the dishwasher. I now have a washing machine and a dishwasher, both hooked up to off-grid power and water. I'm not planning on using the dishwasher other than for 2 things: cleaning jars for preserving things in, and mass dishwashings when I have retreats and events. I'm sure I don't preserve as much as I should do because I don't have enough clean jars. Washing them individually by hand is a nightmare. Sticking 60 of them into a zero carbons dishwasher is awesome. I should definitely find some time every day this week to do some preserving before it starts to get crazy next month. And there will be a collapse lab next year. Probably this week, next year. I've made the decision, but I've not made the website or the tickets or the theme. However, I will need 1 or 2 helpers. If you think you'd like to be one of them, it is absolutely not too early to get in touch. Unless the world has collapsed by then, of course, which is a definite possibility. Okay, pig time. You're all awesome. Much love. Your loving Pirate Pen. XO. XO.